Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this YouTube channel for the first time, subscribe the channel so that whenever I upload any new safety related videos, you will get immediate notification. Okay, so today we are going to learn about confined space. It's an important topic because if you are working in any industries or construction or any oil and gas industry, surely you will come across this confined space. As a safety officer, you should know what is confined space and what are the precautions we need to take for entering into a confined space. And also, if you are learning NIBOSH, you will see this topic in element 3, okay, IG's previous syllabus, but in new syllabus they removed this topic and they put it in IG 2. So if you are preparing risk assessment also, it will be useful. Okay, so watch this video and watch the video completely. So first we will discuss about what is confined space, what are the hazards and risks in confined space, and also the precautions for entering into the confined space. Okay, so first, what is confined space? It is a substantially, what is substantially means almost it is covered. It is almost covered or partially covered area where human occupation is restricted for a limited period of time. A human occupation cannot be carried out for continuously for a long period of time. It is limited only for a certain period of time because there is lot of hazards and risks present inside the confined space. Okay, the first one is risk of asphyxiation. What is asphyxiation? If there is no enough oxygen to inhale, then it leads to asphyxiation. So what is oxygen deficiency? If the oxygen level goes below 19.5% in the atmosphere, then it is known as oxygen deficiency. Then there is no enough amount of oxygen for the human lungs to inhale. Then it leads to asphyxiation. Second one, oxygen enrichment. Oxygen enrichment is also very dangerous because our human lungs is designed to inhale a certain amount of oxygen and to exhale a certain amount of carbon dioxide. So if the oxygen level goes above 22.5% in the atmosphere, then it will lead to oxygen enrichment and it will cause asphyxiation. So second cause, due to presence of toxic gases. Example, if you are working in oil and gas industries, surely you will see this gas H2S, hydrogen sulfide, and also carbon monoxide. These two are toxic gases which we can see inside confined space. Okay, so this is the first hazard, risk of asphyxiation. Second one, risk of fire or explosion. Due to the presence of flammable gas in the confined space. Your confined space is an enclosed area, so the flammable gas may be contained inside the confined space. So if there is any small spark or any ignition sources, it can produce fire or it can burst into flame. Second one, risk of slip, trip or fall. Usually confined space doesn't have proper access and egress. If there is no proper access and egress, it leads to slip, trip, fall. And also poor visibility. Since it is enclosed area, there may be insufficient lighting. So it will lead to poor visibility and it will cause slip, trip and fall hazard. And next one, presence of biological hazard. You can see bacteria, virus inside the confined space. Especially this one, if you are entering into underground sewage system, you can see most of the sources like rats can cause leptospirosis disease. It's a bacterial disease. So presence of biohazards. Next one, lack of ventilation. It's an enclosed area, so you will not get sufficient ventilation. It can lead to unconsciousness. And next one, risk of drowning due to excessive amount of liquid or any water inside the confined space. Now you just learn these hazards and risks and then relate to this example. In this example, you can almost see these hazards and risks. Okay, so let's see the example of confined space. Storage tanks. There may be possible of asphyxiation. For example, if it is a diesel storage tanks, you will see fire or explosion, slip, trip, fall, ventilation, biohazard. So these are the examples: storage tanks, underground sewage system, large pipelines, and excavation. Any excavation, if the depth goes above 1.2 meter, then it will it comes under confined space. Then you need to take the precautions for confined space. So this is known as confined space and these are the example of confined space. Now let us learn what are the precautions that are required for entering into the confined space. Okay. what are the precautions that are required for entering into a confined space? What are the precautions? First, we need a permit to work. We should have a permission to work inside the confined space. Second one, risk assessment for entering into the confined space and the method statement. Once this is done, second you have to check the atmosphere inside the confined space, atmospheric testing, using a approved or authorized gas detector and authorized gas tester. Okay, so if you are using authorized gas detector and authorized AGT to check the atmosphere, then it will show these four values: oxygen level, H2S level, carbon monoxide level, and lower explosive limit. So oxygen level should be always 20.9% or 21%. Yes, human can survive 19.5 to 22.5, or certain country they specify 23.5. So but if you are working inside confined space, prefer 20.9, because if you are allowing the people to enter inside the confined space at the level of 19.5%, anytime the oxygen can reduce, so the people will be in danger. So prefer 20.9, and H2S level should be less than or equal to 10 parts per million, and carbon monoxide should be less than or equal to 35 parts per million. So these values can change from country to country. So prefer your local standards and law. Okay, and the LEL, lower explosive limit, usually they can allow if the lower explosive limit is less than 10% in the atmosphere, but usually confined space prefer 0%, because anytime anything can happen, even a small spark can ignite the whole confined space, and especially if you are doing hot work, prefer always 0%. Okay, next one, isolation. Isolate the infeed and outfeed, whatever coming into the system and going out of the confined space should be isolated. Okay, the mechanical sources, the electrical sources, the infeed and outfeed of the system, all should be isolated and locked out before allowing the people to enter into the confined space. Second one, if there is any gas residues, that means the gas waste residing in the lower area of the confined space, then use local exhaust ventilation system to suck the gas and release it to the atmosphere. Second one, provide ventilation for the supply of fresh or purified air into the confined space. Okay, ventilation arrangements. And provide safe access and egress. The access and egress which you provide for entering into the excavation must be a fixed access and egress. Okay. Second one, communication device. You can provide either voice system, voice communication systems, radio, hand signals, or some companies use rope methods. Either any communication you can choose depending upon the atmosphere. Second one, provide proper instruction, information, training and supervision for the workers. Proper instruction, information, training and supervision must be given for the workers, and more importantly, barricade the area and do not allow any unauthorized person to get into the work area. Okay, second one, next one, lighting arrangements. Prefer less than 24 volts lighting arrangements. Okay, so that because if it goes above 24 volts, there is a high chance for fire or explosion. Okay, a whole watcher must be appointed at the entry of near the access or the entrance point of the confined space, because he should monitor who is getting into the confined space and when he is coming out of the confined space, and he need to be well trained, because he is the one who is going to trigger the emergency action in case of any emergency situation. So he must be well trained hole watcher, and he should maintain a confined space entry exit log sheet, and he should identify and ask the entrance to sign the log sheet before entering into the confined space. And last one is the emergency arrangements. We need different emergency arrangements to get into the confined space. Some of the emergency arrangements are tripod. We need a tripod. Emergency rescue team. We need a rescue team to rescue the people. First aid arrangements. A confined space rescue plan. This rescue plan must be attached with the permit to work. Before starting the work, a well design or develop confined space rescue plan must be attached with the permit to work. Then only you should allow the people to get into the confined space. A confined space rescue plan. These are the emergency arrangements. Next one, communication. Emergency route for the travel of the rescue equipments or rescue team or rescue vehicles. So these are the emergency arrangements that are required for entering into the confined space. Okay, if you take these precautions, then it will be, you can do the work in a safe manner. Okay, so if you want me to make any other topic related to safety, you can put the topic in the comment section so that I can make the relevant topics. Thanks for watching.